Hi, first graders. I'm going to be reading to you the book I shared this morning at morning meeting, The Tub People, because it's one of my favorites and Bridget's favorites from when she was younger. And so this is The Tub People by Pam Conrad. You can see just how big the tub people are. Not very big because there's a bar of soap, and the little boy's not really even as tall as the soap. And there they all are. Those are the characters in the story. I think you can tell by their outfits who some of them are, and some of them are going to meet members of a family. Let's see if I can read this way today because the pictures are all on this side. The tub people stood in a line all day on the edge of the bathtub. There were 7 of them, and they always stood in the same order. The father, the mother, the grandmother, the doctor, the policeman, the child, and the dog. They were made out of wood, and their faces were very plain. They could smile or frown, or cry or laugh, and sometimes they would even wink at each other, but it hardly showed. Can you wink like the tub people can wink? See, if I read this way, it's better because you can see the picture. The father of the tub people liked to play sea captain. He would take the mother, the grandmother, and the child for a ride on the floating soap. The others stood on the edge of the tub and waved, and once in a while, the child of the tub people would slide off the soap into the warm bath. Help, help! And the captain would rescue him. We're coming, we're coming! The policeman and the doctor liked to have water races. Here they are down here, bobbing from one end of the tub to the other. The child would cheer, and the grandmother would say, Hush, you're very noisy. When bath time was over, the tub people always lined up along the edge of the bathtub. The father, the mother, the grandmother, the doctor, the policeman, the child, and the dog. And this time it actually switched. The words are on the other side. But one evening, the bathwater began rushing down the drain before they were lined up, pulling all the tub people this way and that. The soap danced over to the drain, turning and turning at the top of a whirlpool. Standing on the soap, getting dizzier and dizzier, was, you can see in the picture, the child of the tub people. Help! Help! But this time, his father could not save him. This is a sad part of the story. And the tub child disappeared down the drain without a sound. This side now. The tub mother pressed her face to the grating. She looked and looked for her tub child, but she could not see him. Oh, look how sad the mom is. She misses her baby. Later that night, the tub people lined up on the edge of the tub, just the 6 of them. The soap was soft and back in the soap dish. The washcloth made a lonely dripping sound. Can you make that sound? Drip, drip, drip. As it hung from the faucet, and the tub people felt very, what? You see their faces? I think they're feeling very sad. And look at right here where the dog left a space where the tub child belongs. The next night, the 6 tub people climbed onto the washcloth raft. They called and called for their tub child. Of course, they knew exactly where their child had gone, but somehow they felt comforted by calling for him. They just felt better if they called him. Honey, where are you? Come home now. Please come back. But he did not answer. Every evening, the tub people continued to float in the bathwater, but in time they stopped calling, and they never winked at each other anymore. Because when they were winking, that was when they were really happy. But now they're just so sad because they missed their boy. Now you get to see inside the pipes. And do you see who's in there? It's the tub child. Then an unusual thing happened. The bathwater began going down the drain slower and slower. Big people came and peered into the tub. What's the matter with the tub drain? They asked. They filled the room with deep voices and blocked the light. What's the matter with the tub drain? The tub people stood woodenly in their line. If they could have spoken, they would have shouted out, what a terrible drain that was, and how it had sucked away their little tub child. But they were silent. Yeah, they can't talk to the real people. Go this side now so you can see. That afternoon, a big man came and pried off the drain cover, grunting as he worked. He shone a light down the drain and frowned. Then he pushed in a long wire and jiggled it up and down. You do that too? Up and down. Come home now, the grandmother whispered. And out of the drain popped the little tub child, wet and tired. He was stuck in there all that time. Look at the tub people stood in a line quietly watching. One by one they smiled. The father, can you make this father smile? The mother, the grandmother, the doctor, the policeman, and the dog. Did you do all those smiles? And the tub mother had little soapy tears running down her wooden cheek. Can you make a little tear? But the big man did not look at them. He tossed the tub child into his toolbox, shut it with a click, and left. The tub people waited for bath time, hoping their tub child would come back. But bath time never came. It grew later and later, and still they waited, worrying all the while because they know. See, it's frozen. They know he's there, but they can't get to him. Finally, when they felt they could wait no longer, they were lifted up and carefully carried into a new room and gently placed on a large, soft bed. It seemed just like the water to them, except that it was dry and very firm, and there were 7 of them once again. The tub dog knocked his little wooden head against the tub child's head, and very quietly they all laughed. See how happy he was to have his tub child back with him. This way this time. There was a thick quilt on the bed, and then when it was all bunched up, they would go mountain climbing. They have a great imagination, don't they? The father liked to be the leader, and he would lead them up one side of the mountain, and then they would all tumble easily down the other. The grandmother liked to hide under the pillow and have everyone come find her. The tub child liked to fall off the edge and have his father rescue him. Just like they used to play in the tub. Each night when the lights went out, they lined up along the windowsill, just as they had along the bathtub edge. The father, the mother, the grandmother, the doctor, the policeman, the child, and the dog. This is the cute part. But each morning when the sun came shining in on them, something would be different. Can you notice what's different in the picture? I'll let you look at it. Hard for me because my screen is backwards from their screen. See? The tub child would be standing between the tub mother and the tub father, their sides barely touching. And if you looked very, very closely, you would see they all had smiles on their small wooden faces. And the mom and the dad like to have their little boy with them, so they move him to be next to them all night. And that, hooray, is the end of the Tub People book. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice afternoon.